Hello, everyone. This is Yonks with REtoken, the real estate DAO, and it is our 17th community call here in season 0. And we're getting ready to have some holiday weekend coming up here. And let's actually take a look. We have I actually updated the Twitter with a season's greetings banner. Thanks to Double D for getting that put together for us to add a little bit of festive cheer. You can see the banner up here on Twitter, but we've got a lot of agenda here to talk about. This is REtoken ReLaunch month, and here is our Trello. And I'm going to show our Trello board. This is one that we have public. This is where we get all the things done. And here is the agenda card for tonight. So let me zoom this in here for everybody. And we start this off. We are a tokenized Web3 community. We do actively reward participation, whether that's on the Zoom or on the live stream. So if you're hanging out on the live stream, make sure that you smash that like button, engage with some comments, and we will send you some REtoken for doing that because we love the engagement. So to keep on going, I do want to talk, and I've been talking about this and will continue to until we find somebody that can help us level up our game as a producer for our live streams. And there's quite a bit of people involved on making this live stream possible. We do an increasing amount of content, and this is one of the tools that we use for keeping track of our content. This is our Google Calendar. We have this linked all over the place, including in here in our agenda for tonight. So just scrolling down the list, one of the things that we do before we go live, we just sync up, make sure that we're all poised to go live here so that we can attempt to put on the highest quality production for you in a live stream manner. And I do want to just go through the list as far as we've got 8 people from the REtoken team joining us tonight. I'm going to just go down the list. I think it looks like it's alphabetical on this list. So Amy, Blurs, Crush, Dax, Julie, Poopster, and Mrs. Yonks. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Like I said, we've got a lot of agenda. And earlier today, if you missed it, Mrs. Yonks, Amy, and myself, I hosted an Ask Me Anything to do a deeper dive on this transformational initiative that we've got going on here in December, the REtoken ReLaunch. So if you missed it, make sure that you scroll back in, whatever platform that you're coming in on, YouTube, whatever the case may be, and take a look. So again, that Google Calendar that I was talking about, we also have our documentation on Getbook at docs.retoken.info. And one of the things here in the REtoken ReLaunch month that we initiated is some teams. And I'm a huge fan of this acronym right here. Together, everyone achieves more. And some big news, we just got our RET.team website set up. It's very much out of the box. I'm going to show you real quickly like how out of the box it is. Let me go to another tab here real quick and do that. So very much out of the box. This is an opportunity that we have to, out of the box. It doesn't get much more out of the box WordPress than that. So that's going to be a big initiative for us here in 2022 is creating a new website home, really leaning into this together, everyone achieves more. And the POAP for tonight, like the thing that I'm very excited about is Unlock Protocol. This is a platform that we deployed whenever we went through Token Town. Token Town is our flagship project. Token Town, the HOA destroyer. And let's see, I'll circle back on this topic later. I might have left that piece of information off, but it's some very, very exciting news we talked about on one of our previous community calls. I can't remember which one it is, but it's with some additional funding that we received. So if I don't remember that, to talk about it later, but I want to keep on with the agenda here for tonight. So going back to our card, let's see what we've got here besides the together everyone achieves more. So again, we've talked about the acronym. And then one of the other things that we are introducing here in this relaunch are team captains, and want to thank everybody that has raised their hand to fulfill this role. And we're setting this up to be a rotational dynamic because we want to give people an opportunity to, one, have a break, or two, allow other people to step into a leadership role. So thank you, Blurs, for leading the initiative from the core team perspective. And then I was most interested in stepping out of the leadership role on the core team so I can lead the content team. And I'll talk more about that, then design with the dev team, and then have an opportunity. We didn't have anybody to step in to fulfill the ambassadors team. So that's an opportunity. And then Mrs. Yonks, we are exploring several platforms, and this is to fulfill a new initiative here during relaunch, which is We Biddle, an inclusive and platform agnostic community. So as far as the relaunch team, taking a look at the calendar over here again, real quick, let's take a look. We decided earlier on, and this, as you can see, we don't have any live stream events planned. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that there might be some ad hoc stuff like this stuff here, like these green ones. These weren't on the calendar. This is kind of some ad hoc. So I'm not necessarily, I'll be doing some stuff. One of the videos that I'm going to be creating here is the POAP, doing a real quick little clip as far as a POAP design contest to really put a nice little bow tie onto this whole REtoken relaunch. And I'll talk more about the POAP design contest coming up here. But as far as from the core relaunch team, did you have anything that you wanted to add to the conversation right now for us, Blurs Day?
So just from the meeting, on Sunday, basically it's just the same old usual stuff where everyone gave their updates on their respective teams. So content, dev, and so on. So I'm not going to cover those since everyone's going to have opportunities to cover that later. But gain very good at our getting things accomplished there with going through our agenda items. So we are getting our sea legs, covering bounties, working groups, and everything. So nothing, but nothing really standing out other than check the minutes and the Zoom for details.
Great, thanks for that update. And one thing that I did want to talk about, and this is something that I've been talking to the core team about as well, is also our commitment to get the events on the calendar. And this is one of the things, whether that's the Seshbot or whatever. So this is something that we did and really last minute. And that's something that Amy and Blurs can attest to. We were looking at our calendar here, and we only had the community call and the core relaunch call on here. So we got all of the events planned. We even put the revised deadline because we extended the POAP design contest. Like I said, I'll talk more here later tonight on the live stream about the POAP design contest. So that's something that we're working on getting better at, and we want to get better at, we're not exactly sure what time will make the most sense. We've had a couple opportunities that we've utilized already with Let Us Meet as far as scheduling some of those. And that's something that I'll kind of leave up to the team captains as we enter into 2022. It might make sense because I really like the consistency. Like, one of the things that we've been consistently doing on a very solid basis is our community call right here, 7 o'clock on Wednesday evening, and then our core team call on Sunday at 3 Eastern. And this is one of the things that we'll take a look at coming into 2022 as far as these new teams, and take a look when it makes the most sense to get these on the calendar. So going down the list, let's see what we've got on the list next. So content team, this is something I'll speak to this, and a great idea that Amy had for a needed piece of content is how to use the MetaMask mobile app to participate in REtoken Governance. So this is something that I will have out here very soon, probably within the next 24 to 48 hours. I'll probably create a new proposal. The ones that we've got that are active right now, and yeah, they're closing pretty soon, but we're going to be having some more proposals come around. So I wanted to use this opportunity to get some feedback from the rest of the team here, and anybody in the live stream. Feel free to contribute to the conversation from a live stream standpoint, asking this question. And if this is something that you can facilitate in a popcorn manner, Tyler, I would be appreciative of that. And if you wanted to kick it off with one piece of content that you think that we need besides the FAQ page, over to you, Tyler.
Okay, well, this isn't a piece. I'm going to give you guys a piece of bonus content. Since I saw in the comments, there's officially a circle back counter. There's this fabulous YouTube of every time Trump says China, it's like China, China, China. I think we should just do that with Yonks saying circle back. I'm just going to make a little remix. It'll be amazing. So that's what you're all getting into Christmas stockings. For a piece of content that I think it's important to see, Amy brought up this really great point about how to connect your MetaMask wallet. I think we should take every FAQ, or at least as many of them that make sense, and turn them into 5-minute videos, or as short as they can be. So if it's an FAQ and we can put an explanation and then put a video link, I think that would make the experience better, because some people like demonstrations more than reading and whatever. So I think that's what I would vote for, is video content for as many of the FAQs that make sense. So with that, I will call Amy. If you had do you have another one, or Guy, we kind of already covered you, but do you want to add another one for content that you want to see created?
I'm driving right now, but you go ahead. I'll listen.
Okay. What about you, Blurs?
You threw me under the bus. Definitely a what roles and what they mean. I think that's already been discussed at some point, though. And maybe a well, no, that'd be an FAQ page. Let's see.
Jason, by the way, you writing all these things down, or do I need to?
Yeah, or just throw it in the chat on Discord or on the YouTube itself. And when you say roles, if you could provide some clarification, because I think Dax does own, and I don't know if that's been completed yet or not, but in Get book documenting like the Discord roles, and that's one of the things that we're getting better at from a granularity standpoint. So were you speaking, and then like on this is something else that I would really like to see the content or the team captains create. Go ahead.
I just like to give an update on the Discord role. Yes, I started working on it for some reason. I messed up my Git integration with my laptop. So because I have a work one and then this one, so this is my private ID or private email. Something got messed up with the Git configuration on my local machine. So please bear with me. I'm working through that thing. As soon as I'm done with that, I'll be able to update, commit my content. Then we should be good. Thank you.
No, thanks for that update too. This is what one of the things I would really like to see the team captains like right now created this teams subsection under how to participate, and when we go through the different teams, it's completely blank. So this is something that we haven't been having that many conversations about in the various team meetings, and this is something, we need to be more intentional about having some conversation on. So like the content team, since we're in the content team section of the agenda, content team will be owning the community call, and then like all of the other teams will have their respective teams. And then like one of the other things that we'll be talking about immediately concluding this, we'll have a small pause, and we'll probably try to conclude this prior to like 5 or 10 minutes prior to the hour, because we've got the coordinate. And since this is a holiday weekend coming up here, this is the last conversation that we'll be having before our third epic of coordinate concludes. So anyway, going back to the round robin, I'm going to kick that back to you, Tyler, for getting that popcorn going again.
Right. Just so did you just volunteer the captains to fill out their own respective pages on the Git book?
Yeah, if you can, that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay.
Or
we were just voluntold.
Let's incorporate it, let's carve out some time, and that's the thing. Like we've had lots of conversations, like the greatest example of, coming up with a piece of content. And this is the thing, like all of this is a work in progress. So if we want to take like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, because and then really like the expectation too with using Coordinape is that more things need to get done outside of the context of these live streams, and writing content is one of the ways anyway, that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, like and this is something that I need to do a better job. It's not something that I've been itemizing from an agenda standpoint, like during the content team calls that we've hosted here so far. And I think that we've had 3 team calls for each of these new teams that we've created. So next week will be the 4th one. And just going back to that calendar, I threw this out to the team captains earlier, and we basically mimicked the calendar that we put in place here this week for this upcoming week, which is week 52. It's the last week of 2021. And then, as Blur's alluded, we're going to be having the core relaunch team on January the 2nd. And this was one of the things that we decided earlier when we extended the POAP design contest here. So that'll be one last opportunity to promote the POAP design contest, so that any procrastinators that have been contemplating getting in a submission will have a narrow window of opportunity to get in their submission. And like I said, we'll talk more about the POAP design contest. But back to you, Tyler, for the popcorn to finish off this round robin for the one piece of content idea.
Okay, Crush, you're up. If you are able to talk right now, what content would you, or what groups of content would you like to see created?
Okay, sorry, I couldn't find the thing. I can't really think of anything right now.
Okay, that's fine. You can pass if you want, or we can come back to you at the end, whatever you want.
Okay, yeah, I'll just pass right now.
Okay. Dax, did you have anything other than what you were talking about? What content would you like to see created?
Good question. Yeah. You know what? Sorry, I'm thinking. Bear with me. I mean, I need to think about it, but on top of my head, I would kind of like see there are 4 categories, if you will. I see that happening, or at least people like to, people would like to see it. I would say the one would be like some sort of articles, like I don't know, like a weekly update or some sort of article that is related to crypto or real estate, or a combination of some sort of a utility around that. So I would like to see something like that, articles. And then the second one would be, we are already producing currently like YouTube, like I would say like a videos. So like a how-to videos, or if you can, like categorize, underneath the videos, I would subcategorize further. Okay, community calls, take a look at it. And then how-to videos, Jason puts out a fantastic content, like how to distribute tokens, how to go about, sign up for Snapshot and things like that. So, yeah, videos would be another category, and then subcategory, community call, work groups, and things like that. And then we can tag them, since it's a WordPress, we can tag them by, various, projects and things like that. But I don't want to get into too much of detail, but high levels, articles, videos. And then I would say, we are planning to do a newsletter, like newsletter blast. I don't know probably like a weekly once or monthly once or bi-weekly, however we ended up doing it. We would be end up doing it. I would say like some sort of archive mechanism there, so that people can, if somebody misses out or somebody new comes into the real estate token DAO, and then they would be able to go back and see, the past articles or past newsletters, so that they can, I don't know, look at it or try to, learn something from there. Or we can, refer back to them. So that would be another one. And then, see the videos and articles and the newsletters. The fourth one would
I'm gonna have to cut you off on this one, Dax. We did put out one, and thank you for your contributions on that. So if we don't have them identified, throw them in the content team. But we do have some more agenda, and I love the ideas. But to keep on the momentum, who else do we have left on the list here, Tyler?
Julie, I'm not sure if you're in a position where you can talk. If you are on mic, if you're not, we'll just skip you. So let me know, and I don't want to miss you. So if you've got any ideas and you can't talk, make sure we get those in the comments.
I can go real quick. I think that of all the YouTube content we've already created, I think there's some low-hanging fruit there with the fact that we can take and go through those, all our live streams and whatnot, and find micro content to post to Twitter. So what that would look like is just finding like some 30-second clips of, us explaining what's what, or, things like that. I think we can pull like some very short content that we can post to Twitter from all the YouTube content that we already have.
Cool, great idea. And somebody had mentioned the other day that we have the opportunity to auto transcribe stuff, and we might have to kind of edit them for, I don't know if that's voice to text or whatever, but that's something we should probably look into for a bunch of reasons, searchability and a bunch of stuff like that. So Jason, that was everybody. And if everybody can look in the YouTube comments, just make sure that I got what you were actually saying. And if I didn't, just post a correction there, and we'll get it all figured out. So back to you, Jason.
I did want to vocalize a comment or a suggestion that I had, and this is one that I think doing a video clip on would be how to add the REtoken, the ERC20, and we do have our social token on Polygon. So not only how to add the REtoken, but you have to go through a process to normally, because the Polygon Matic network isn't added by default. So that was the one piece of content idea that I had. So thank you for facilitating that. And we don't have DSign with us tonight. I already spoke about the RET.team. We had quite a bit of conversation the other day as far as some Discord bots. And this is one of the things that we're going to work on. And this, like the weekly updates, like we are creating an increasing amount of content primarily in the live stream format, and the opportunity, like Dax said, to bundle that up in another format. And I was on another tab over here. This is a poll that I did for BitDAO on Twitter. Tyler and I are going through an ambassador program over there, and this got quite a large participation. 145 people voted on this Twitter poll that I made. I wasn't necessarily surprised to see, especially since it was a Twitter poll, that the Twitter thread chimed in there. And that's one of the things that we will work on implementing ourselves here too, to make a nice summary in a different manner as far as all the stuff. So did you want to speak to anything else from the dev team perspective there, Dax?
I am thinking, please continue with move on to the next topic, and then I'll circle back and chime in. Thanks.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And the ambassadors team, we introduced, because one of the things that we, not just the ambassadors team, but the team as a whole have identified is that we really believe that we need to improve the onboarding experience here at REtoken. And this isn't an isolated challenge in the larger DAO ecosystem. And this is conversations that we're having in other DAOs that Tyler and I are participating in. And one of the things that we did is we created some new workflow. And this is one of the things that I wanted to do a real quick recognition to Blackfire, who's not able to join us because it is super early in the morning down under where he's from. But just going over here to our Discord, we have our intros over here under the onboarding section. And I wanted to thank Blackfire for getting on board with this threaded idea, and kudos to him for doing that. And over here on our Trello board, let me show you real quick where that's at, and I'll zoom this out real quick. So over here on the Trello board, you can see the card right here where we've got this workflow. And I'm not going to go through this. Rewatch the video from the ambassadors team. It shouldn't be that hard to find. And I'll put a link to the video in here too. And I'm planning on doing a separate video clip where going through and putting a little more polished effort instead of having it in that longer YouTube clip as far as this specifically. So this is something that we'll be talking about. This is kind of a trial here throughout the end of December, and we will make a decision probably at the January 2nd core team call kicking off 2022 there, if this is something that we want to extend. I've been very pleased with some preliminary as far as really seeing more engagement from people that have taken that effort. And this is something that we have spoken about on multiple occasions as far as improving the onboarding experience. So keeping on with the agenda here real quick, let's see what else that we've got. So the new platform team, what would you like to speak to on the new platform team there, Mrs. Yonks?
I don't know if we've officially decided on Mighty Networks. We've been talking about Mighty Networks or Circle, but all of the stuff seems to be coming up Mighty Networks. So have we officially decided on that? Do we need to vote on it? What do we need to do?
Is Andrea in this meeting? Nope.
No.
She was sold on Circle, so not Circle.
What to answer your question, Tyler, I would really like to see, because there's two things, and that was the two things that I identified there, because we haven't really gone as far as saying, okay, here's what the events look like in Circle, here's what the events look like in Mighty Networks. That's one. The other is the governance process, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I would really like to see A and B, and then we started working on that comparison matrix. So I think that there's still more opportunity to really allow people to have a better look and feel as far as those two key components, because that's one of the things that we will need to incorporate into our workflow, is what the temp check will look like in those two platforms. Because right now the temp check process in our governance is facilitated entirely via Discord. And that's something that we can have some more side conversations with between now and we've got our upcoming new platform call on 7 o'clock on Monday. So let's take that offline, and we can work on, I'm sure that we're going to have some proposals, and that's one of the things coming up here. So besides that, did you want to speak anything more on the new platform team, Tyler?
Yeah, I just wanted to invite everybody who is interested in helping develop the courses to reach out to me, because that's going to be a big project in Q1, and I'd like to know who's interested in doing it. That's it.
Appreciate that. And I think that we had some new community members. I think that this is some carryover from last week. And this is one of the things that we want to amplify. This has been a very successful program, and Julie is on us here tonight. Ernest regularly engages, and thank you all for all that you do. And I think that we had some new community members. Let me see over here in our voting proposals so that I make sure that I don't miss those, because I think that I had stepped away when those people were nominated on our previous conversation. So where's that at here, Tyler?
The voting proposals for which one?
No, right here. This is the one that I wanted to talk about. So Poopster and Amy nominated Blursday, DSign, and Blackfire to be our community members of the week. And this was on December the 15th. And this is one of the things that we created one of the other ways that we recognize this is through the REtoken member of the week. That was a Discord role that created. And this is wanting to get some better documentation, because this is a nomination that was made on the 15th, and we didn't get these people updated on their Discord roles. And that's one of the things that we're working on improving here during REtoken ReLaunch month, is documenting some procedures, dialing things in so that everybody can be on the same page. So thank you, Blurs, DSign, and Blackfire for all that you do. And thank you, Poopster and Amy, for nominating them on last week's community call. I think that was when I was having some technical issues or packet loss or whatever.
As Blurs pointed out, we have dial-up internet here at Team Yonk's Manor. And I just want to throw out one thing. I said this before, but a lot of you guys were on the call. Amy is such a rock star and has been so committed to this community. She's actually the #2 REtoken holder after Yonk's. So all the calls, all the work, all the projects, all the POAPs, all the things, she actually jumped over me, which I was so excited about. And I just want to recognize Amy for she has more REtoken than anybody except for Yonk's. It's spectacular. So I just want to congratulate her on that.
So am I hearing that you're nominating Amy for community member of the week? Is that what I just heard you do?
I think so. And I think that I want to open this up for nomination. Yes, I absolutely nominate Amy. And if anybody else has a nomination, let's just do that now. That was something I meant to add to the agenda and I forgot to do it. So if anybody else has a nomination, let's do it. And I nominate Amy.
I will absolutely second Amy's nomination. She is a rock star and we love all that she brings here to the community.
Thank you, guys.
So if you can go ahead, Mrs. Yonks, and kick off. Well, let's actually just walk through that process right now. Well, I don't know. I'm looking at the time here. We've got a live stream coming up. We'll take that offline in sake of time, because I want to make sure to talk.
Let's just make that another piece of content, Jason, how to nominate a community member of the week, and we'll just make that another piece of content another time.
Yeah, well, the way that we nominate community members is on our live stream, like the either the community call or the core team call. That's really where I want to see those nominations pop up, because that's really where the team leaders the team captains should be coming together. So that's kind of where any of the voting or the governance process should really be initiated, whether it's, and that being said, it can kick off in a court or in a team meeting too, but we'll talk more about that. That's one of the action items that I have, is to do a refresh video, like REtoken, how to DAO Governance 101, 102, something like that. So going down the list, soon to come snapshot proposals, watch the REtoken relaunch. I went into details on those working groups. We don't have any working groups. We've been talking about the task force. We'll be talking more about that coming into 2022. And that's basically initiatives involving inter-DAO, like an external DAO situation. That's categorically where that work is going to come. So DAO business, current Discord temp check polls. This is one of the things that I wanted to show over here in the GM. I created this little picture here. So right now, and let me open this so you all can see it a little bit better. So active temp check polls. One of the things that have tried to do to make it easier to see if there's an active, because we use a threaded environment. And this is one of the things that we'll have to figure out, Mrs. Yonks, with the new platform team, what this temp check is going to look like in either Circle or mighty networks. So right now there's 2 active, and this is a call to action that we have right now. Let me go to the one on Discord. So the way that you can find this, you go to the voting proposals, and you might not see all of these. The reason that I have all of these is because I've joined all of these threads, because most of them, if not all of them, I created. But what you can do is you click on the threads, and it's a slightly different experience on mobile. So can't speak to that because I'm not on mobile right now. But if you click on threads, you can scroll through this. And if you see the one with the little vote box, that means that we have an active temp check. So both of these, the coordinate, like I said here, we've got coordinate coming up immediately after this live stream, which is why that we're wanting to wind down this live stream here in the next 5 minutes or so. So this is one, we'll be talking more about this. As you can see, people overwhelmingly said, like Jerry Maguire, show me the money. So in this case, a little bit more REtoken, and already talked about that. We'll talk more about that. The other one, and wanted to thank everybody that has boosted our Discord server. We now have a fully boosted Discord server, which unlocks all the cool stuff that you can do in Discord. So thank you, Julie, D-Sign, Mrs. Yonks, Poopster. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody else, but thank you for boosting the server, because now we have full functionality that Discord can provide. So the vanity URL is one of the opportunities that we have. It makes it much easier. And as you can see, overwhelmingly, people have said, keep it in line with our existing social media at REtoken DAO. But the call to action right now, and as you can see, the voting on this poll closes in the hour. And if you go vote on this, I'm going to vote on this right now. And there is my vote. And we're rewarding 10 REtoken. This was a ad hoc temp check that I put out to the core team. It's funny, Ryan and I had a little back and forth banter on that. But this is something that we wanted to create a call to action on. And this is one of the things that we're going to get better at doing within our team meetings. One of which is RSVPing. Like for those that don't know, on our events, we provide extra REtoken for RSVPing. It's not much, but we do believe that that social proof is worth throwing some 5 REtokens for. And Mrs. Yonks has been firing off in rapid fire, and thank you for doing that. Our upcoming events so that you can RSVP for those. I haven't even RSVP'd. I'm going to do this one right now. So if you want to participate in the event, make sure that you RSVP, because you do get 5 bonus REtoken for RSVPing, even if you say maybe or no. And the reason that we do that, again, is for social proof. So keeping on the list here, because we don't have that much more time, we also have a whole bunch of snapshot proposals open, snapshot.org. This is the platform that we use for doing all of our governance. Right now, we have 6 proposals. And the way that we end the time on these proposals as far as when the voting ends is we have 2 windows that we normally do. So you can see this one, the voting on these close in an hour. So probably most of these close in an hour. So make sure that you go vote on this. This is, again, the proposal for new community member of the week, Ernest of Gaia and Julie. Thank you for all that you do. Let me see if I've actually voted on this one myself. I have not. Let me do this. And this is one of the things that I need to do. I might even have to do this on the break, because I think I missed a couple of those here earlier. Anyway, so that's a call to action as well. Again, we've got a bunch of proposals. And one of the things that we're putting forward in 2022 is a KPI option. We'll be talking more about that in 2022 to incentivize the behavior that we want to see, which is participating in the governance of our community here. All right, so Discord vanity URL, coordinate, open snapshot proposals. So the thing that I want to close it off on, the POAP design contest. Like said earlier, we have extended the POAP design contest. We had a great conversation earlier. And one of the things that will be happening here in the next 24 hours or 48 hours is that we're going to do a dry run using Snapshot in the current submission. So in Discord, we've got and if you do a search, you should be able to find it pretty quickly. Like if you do a search for POAP, We've got the POAP channel, but it should show up pretty high on the search, and we've got a thread, POAP design contest. The Discord search works amazing. Encourage everybody to get in the habit of doing that. So like I said, we've got the video. I pinged everyone on Discord, and that's one of the things that we are trying to get very good at is reducing the notifications here, because we want, if we make a notification, we would really like everybody to see it, because one of the things that we don't want to happen is we don't want to have people turning off the notifications, disabling the notifications. So that's one of the things that we have committed to you as leadership here in the DAO, is to be very cognizant. And this is an ongoing work in progress, and we're having those conversations all the time. So the POAP design contest, as far as the parameters, everybody, we encourage, and not only do we encourage, we incentivize. We're allowing people to submit 3 entries per person. You get 25 bonus REtoken for each submission, and it's pretty easy. It's a 2-step process. We've got the official tweet here. Just upload there, and ideally we'd like to see people copying this in there, but you know, the biggest thing is just replying on the tweet, and again, that's just to get some social media juice. And we're going to go through creating, like I said, we're going to have a dry run here, and we're going to figure out what that looks like as far as the execution. And I'll probably, let me just go ahead and update this here real quick since we revised it. So the new deadline is Sunday at 9 p.m. on January. Man, I can't believe it's almost 2022 already. So there's the revised submission deadline so that there's no confusion on that. So I'm going to go ahead and go on mute. That was all the agenda that I had. We have our Coordinate live stream coming up here in 5 minutes, and we'll be live on that in 15 or 20 or so. But I'm going to go on mute and let anybody else chime in some closing thoughts.
Thanks, everybody. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. So everybody's got a quick 5-minute break, and then we can come back in 5. So,
See you later, guys.
great job, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.